How is everyone doing today? As you can see from the title of the video, the boycott of Asian businesses is working. It's working. And we're just gonna tap into that thought for a little bit. Let me know how y'all feel about this. If you don't know about the boycott, then I'm gonna tell you. It's really not a boycott, it's more like a ban. It's really like a ban. Because guess what, guys? We are so tired of racism in this country. It's an epidemic. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, right? It's disgusting, guys. So that's why the melanated, indigenous, autochthonous, aka black folks, reclassified, Mary Indians, classified as black folks, are not protesting, but just making a lifelong change. It's kind of like one of those skills, like it's one of those generational curses that you may not know is a generational curse, where you don't spend money with people who look like you, because in history you've been banned from doing that. They, limit the dollars, a lot of theft, a lot of stuff went on. Especially things like Black Wall Street, where the businesses were destroyed, burned, just torched. And then they say, hey, where's your businesses when you torched everything? So now you have all of these immigrants coming to Turtle Island, to our land. They're able to get subsidies, grants, loans. They're able to have a perfect credit score as soon as they step foot on the soil, as long as they against us. As long as they're going to try to sell to us. Y'all never heard of something called selling to the Negro? Selling to the Negro. Yep. Selling to the Negro. So we're always being studied from every direction, from how to sell to us, how to give us religion, how to make us citizens, but not have any rights under the law. What's going on? So that's what we are boycotting, those businesses, because we're just like sick of it. Just sick of it. The nails, the hair. I'm happy that I have locks so I can wear my own hair. But I've been a wig queen. I love wigs. They just don't work with my scalp now. But some things you just gotta boycott and just say no. We have plenty of people in our community that know how to do these things. Why not use these people? So it's just sad. So tell me how y'all feel about that. How y'all feeling in the chat today? Uh-oh. And tell me, do you know about the boycott? All right. So they study us, they sell to us, then they justify unaliving us. So today I just want to talk about something heavy. It's current, and sometimes history does not repeat itself. Sometimes history is just never left. It just stays the same. So we're going to talk about melanated people, indigenous people on this soil, who have been reclassified and just treated extremely poorly because they think we don't have the intellectual ability to even shop within our own communities. That's just something that is a systemic issue. It has nothing to really do with us. It's a systemic issue. When you have the liquor stores, the nail shops, the hair stores, the gas stations, have all of these businesses from immigrants in our communities. When you go to the hood, because the whole podcast is hood to hood. When we in the hood, all the stores have immigrants. When I go to the south side of Tallahassee, where I'm from, I'm like, dang, this side haven't really changed much. Like, it's all the same people who own the same stores, and they don't look like us, but they get all of our money. They suck it dry. You go to work 8 hours a day just to pay rent to some foreigner, just to go to the store and buy groceries and stuff from a foreigner, when we had our own trees, our own land. So that's what we're talking about today. The Rick Child and Cyrus Carmack Belton case, and the old film called Selling to the Negro. Right. So I want to know, how can America know how to sell to us, melanated people, profit from us, market to us, study us, entertain us, but still not know how to protect our children? Because that's the contradiction. That's the contradiction. They know your buying habits. They know your algorithm habits. They know our slang. They know our neighborhoods. They know our pain points. They know where to target us to push our buttons. They know the trigger words that used to work before we learn who we are. They know that when a black melanated child is unalive, suddenly they don't know nothing. Suddenly everybody get the blind eye. Suddenly there's confusion. Suddenly it's too complicated to understand. Suddenly everybody want to talk about what the child did, as if when you're young, you don't do crazy things and make mistakes. I know I did. Was it worth me being unalived? No. They want to just ignore the murder. And in this country, that's how it has always been. They highlight the presidents, and I always go back to the presidents because these are supposed to be the heroes, but they were also enslaving people. But how could you be a hero when you stealing someone's life and their time and their future and their freedom? You will never be a hero in my eyes, right? So they highlight people who go to war and commit heinous acts of war crimes and genocide and homicide and democide and trafficking. These are heroes. These are the popes. These are the Catholic, Roman, Vatican type motherfuckers, right? So nobody want to talk about that. But as soon as it's a 14-year-old melanated child, it's like, oh, disposable. So that's why we are not boycotting. I would say this is a lifestyle. It has to be a lifestyle where you're looking for someone who looks like you when you need a service, especially when you come from our community. Because if we don't have unity, if we don't bond together now, if we don't take this serious now, we're never going to take it serious. We have to stick together. Like, I love finding nail techs and people who look like me and just supporting those businesses when it comes to catering. Whenever I do a party, best believe my whole vendor list is melanated. I try to do melanated businesses because I know how that feels, having a melanated business. It's hard staying in business, especially for me, being in dentistry, having a dental practice. It's very hard staying in business. It's not as easy, coming from poverty and learning financial literacy and having a doctoral degree and, being an entrepreneur. This shit is hard as hell. Do I get help like most of my Caucasian counterparts? Hell to the no. No. Do I have the network that they likely have? No. But I can't make excuses because I know what I'm up against. I know that for my entire life, it's been an underserved setting. So I always had to overwork, do 10 times more, and not complain. But that's why we are making a ban on these businesses, for real. I feel like it's a ban because this former wooden cross, why you say wooden cross? I don't fool with the wooden cross. But Rick Child, a former convenience store owner in South Carolina, was charged with murder after, this 14-year-old was just unalive by being hit in the back. They found him not guilty. This was just this month after a couple hours of deliberation. This happens every time we seek justice. We're forced to grieve in public, defend humanity at the same time. It's a sickness. It is a sickness. It's a sickness. So that's why we have to talk about, in the 1954, there was this film called The Secret of Selling to the Negro, or Selling to the Negro. It was made to teach businesses who are now immigrants coming over here after they've stolen everything for decades, how to market to melanated consumers during that time, right? The language is dated, it's offensive, but the point, is still disturbing. America was studying how to market to us. And one of the main old sales logic that they used was black people want recognition. Think about that. They knew that we wanted to be seen, we wanted dignity, we wanted quality. We wanted respect after being excluded, insulted, denied, and robbed. So the marketplace said, oh, we see you, we value you, buy from us. But as soon as something happens to one of us, they lie and say, we will protect you, we will leave you. But they said, we will not criminalize your children. But they lied. America has always been willing to recognize us as consumers before recognizing us as fully human. They just want the money. So my thing is, it's not about just one man or one verdict. It is about a system, how we spend our dollars. Because we are the culture. We are. When it comes to style, dance, inventions, anything you name, we're the culture. And we live in a society where they say, where's your culture? Well, let's go back a little bit. It was banned. It was, there were laws made against our culture. Slave codes, slave ratings. You couldn't wear this, you couldn't read. Like, for goodness sakes, you couldn't read. Like, how psychotic does this country have to be to make these kind of laws where you can't read, you can't write, you can't look at somebody, you know what I mean? Like, otherwise you could lose your life. You could lose your entire life. All the time that, our creator gave to us, another man is controlling it. So that's what it's about. That's why we are the culture, because everything we do, people try to put it in a box and hide it and act like it doesn't exist and copy it and steal it, like rock and roll, like country music. We can go on and on, like super soakers. You see what I'm saying? Like anything, right? Like anything, right? So we create trends. We are the blueprint. When we perform, we are the entertainment. When we suffer, we're the content. It's just like the case with Carmelo Anthony. They never released the footage. They never released the tapes. And I see now something has been leaked. But it's like, normally if it was George Floyd type of incident, you would release a tape to show someone being unalive. But in this situation, it's like, oh no, we can't release the tape. It's like, why not? If it proves something, just release it. Don't hide things. Just be fair. That's all that we're asking, is fairness, equality. But you can't ask for equality. You can't beg for it. You have to demand it. That's what I feel, right? Because when we need justice, suddenly we want too much. Suddenly. That's why this conversation matters today, guys. It really, really matters. Like, I want to say, they still study us. They still target us. They still sell to us. But do they stand beside us? When you see them marketing, they're marketing to you. They're marketing to me. They still want to get your dollars. But they don't want to protect you. It's like, oh, we're going to put our liquor store here so you can come and get drunk. But when something happened in the neighborhood, we're not showing up. We're not coming to the protest. We're hiding our hand because we got our money and we don't got nothing to do with that. So when you spending your dollars, make sure you try to find people who melanated like you, people who look like you. Don't give all your money away outside of the community. That's one thing about Black Wall Street, is that they were able to keep the money circulating in the community for months. People can't do that anymore. It just doesn't happen anymore. Why? Because we're too broken. We're not unified. But things are changing. It is a new day. It is a new age. And I'm happy that this boycott has led to a ban. I've been seeing people pulling up, hey, what you doing in that hair store? Like, what are you doing in there? You better go find somebody who down the block. You got to do your research. Yes, it takes a little bit more time to do the research to find people who are in our community who do different services who look like us. You know, I hear all the time people say, I never had a black dentist or never seen one. So we're out here. People who are out here who do nails and pedicures, makeups, facials, like tires, plumbing. We out here. But we're not marketed the same. And we lack a lot of the grants and financial support that's given to predominantly white institutions and communities. For instance, schools that are in predominantly white neighborhoods get 23, is it $billion more for education? You get what I'm saying? So it's unequal across the board. It's always gonna be this type of shit perpetuated. But we hold the key to breaking it with economics, with dollars, right? With unity. So I'm gonna say something that makes people uncomfortable, but we have become more disciplined with our dollars. You know, we have become more disciplined. We're not as emotional, we're not as reactionary, but strategic. Because everybody want our money, but not everybody deserves our dollars. So when you go out there and you working hard 40 hours a week, make sure you're just not handing it over to someone who's not gonna look out for your community if something happens and they self-defensely unalive one of the kids in the back that doesn't have anything, didn't steal anything. When do we hold these people accountable? Imagine if Cyrus had been a white boy and Mr. Chow shot him. Would he be off? I highly fucking doubt it. The business would be shut down. He would be behind the bars. He would be behind the bars. So no more letting people extract from us, then act like they're afraid of us when they're the biggest thugs and pirates who invaded and seized land, and you know, we're eating people and hanging and just barbecues and things like this. These are the things that we read now, and it's sad, it's disgusting. And my whole thing is, don't keep being proud of that type of shit. Like, that is not a flex. I don't know who told y'all that eating people and having this history of being barbaric and unaliving people because you're mad because their epidermis has melanin is okay. It's totally not cool. It's actually pretty psychotic. It's very psychotic, the level of evil and hate that exists in people. Then they want to say, well, no, you guys are racist. We can't be racist. You know, that's something that we didn't create. We actually create inventions and things of that sort, not these pseudo narratives and these gaslit patriarchal colonized perspectives, right? I think I gotta go, guys. But yeah, don't spend your dollars with them. Bye.